coming up from the Northeast Live Studios in Guwahati. Northeast Tonight with Wasbir Hussain.
Hello and welcome to Notice Tonight, the show that decodes the region. The first phase of elections in Assam are just 2 weeks away, viewers. The question that many are asking now is whether the parties are going to give issues like illegal infiltration from Bangladesh a miss this time. One is curious to know whether influx is not going to be an issue in election 2021 because the politics of citizenship and the native versus alien debate has been a constant talking point in all elections in the state since the post-Assam Accord State Assembly polls in 1985. The BJP has said it would face the ensuing elections with a pro-incumbency report card and have maintained that issues like Citizenship Amendment Act will not be a factor as the party had won the panchayat polls well after the agitation against the Citizenship Amendment Bill was sweeping Assam. BJP ally Assam Gana Parishad would prefer to keep away from issues like CAA because it had quit the coalition over CAB but returned to rejoin it and stay on even after Citizenship Amendment Bill was passed and became law. The Congress says it has joined hands with all anti-CAA forces like the AIUDF and has put removal of CAA in its 5 guarantees it has offered the people. The new regional party on the block, the Assam Jatiya Parishad, of course, goes to the polls with its opposition to Citizenship Amendment Act as the main plank. The big question is, CAA may or may not be a factor that can impact the polls, but are political parties hit by fatigue over the influx issue? Will the ruling BJP avoid such issues and talk only or mainly on its development report card? The BJP leadership has already declared that development would be its main election plank. Is there time for the parties to reflect on any major issues that Assam faces? After all, parties and leaders are still busy trying to quell dissension within its rank over ticket allocation. Yesterday, for instance, veteran BJP leader Dilip Paul, MLA from Silchar, quit the party as he was denied ticket this time. Paul said he would be in the fray as an independent. Siladitya Dev, BJP MLA from Hujai, who was also denied ticket, has quit the party. The Congress too is facing serious dissension, particularly among a large section of the party's old guard. In this backdrop, the parties are facing the polls. To discuss the possibilities, I am joined by Assam BJP spokesperson Janki Goswami. Assam Congress spokesman Raman is also with me. Also with me is AIUDF spokesman Champak Kalita. Joining me is AJP Ideologue Professor Krishna Gopal Bhattacharjee. Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta, professor at Guwahati University and a commentator, is joining me from Guwahati, and with me as well is Professor Rajib Handique, also from Guwahati University and a well-known political analyst. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Notice Tonight. First of all, I am going to ask you, Janki Goswami, is illegal migration from Bangladesh a non-issue in these elections?
See, Wasbir, what I want to tell you is that 2016 we had fought the elections on the pledge to safeguard our Jati, Mati and Bheti, and thereby strengthening the base of the indigenous people in our own land. Now, since the time we formed the government to safeguard the interests of the indigenous people, to safeguard our culture, our language, our age-old traditions has been the foremost priority of our government. Now, let me tell you a few points and a few things that we have done to safeguard the interests of the people. Number one, we have tried to seal the border. Even the riverine portion, which is around 61 kilometers, has been sealed by state-of-the-art technology. We have tried to safeguard our language by making it mandatory to teach Assamese language at the primary level in schools. We have tried to make the Satra and the Namghar lands free of encroachment. We have tried to free the land of Kaziranga free of encroachment. And we have also given land pattas to around 3.35 lakh people.
Okay, but my concern is, I take your point, Janki Goswami.
Influx has considerably, if you try and see, because the people in the media have full-on reports of the influx that was happening earlier. So you will also know and you will also realize that the influx there is practically no influx now.
Okay, I'll come to all of that. I've taken your points. You're basically saying that you have drawn up a list of measures. But my question to the Professor Krishna Gopal Bhattacharjee, why I was asking you this question, the BJP spokesperson has said that he has listed out a number of measures which our party says has taken. That's fine. But the point is, my question is, why are political parties not discussing this during the election campaigns? That was my question. I'm not saying that BJP has not done anything or Congress had done during that time. That's not the issue.
No,
issue is, my question is, whether election 2021, why are leaders and parties not raising these issues during the campaign? Is this not an election issue this time?
Definitely. These are issues which we are going to raise and we have already raised. First, the implementation of Assam Accord in a time-bound manner, implementation of Clause 6, implementation of Clause 5, implementation of the report of the committee on Clause 6, then action against CAA, that means our opposition against CAA remains. We want it, if possible, to be removed altogether, or if not, then it is not to be implemented in Assam. And then also NRC. NRC will be very much an issue. We want the NRC which has been prepared as the base, and then we want to complete the whole process of National Register of Citizenship.
Okay. Okay. Now, Assam Jatiya Parishad is saying that this is one of the main election plank, these issues and its allied activities like implementation of Clause 6. Champak Kalita ji, आप बताइए, you are an ally of the Congress party. Your Congress party is saying that all anti-CAA forces have come together. लेकिन बीजेपी का ये कहना था कि CAA फैक्टर ही नहीं है इस इलेक्शन में, क्योंकि जब सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट बिल का एजिटेशन असम में चल रहा था तब बीजेपी ने पंचायत इलेक्शन स्वीप किया था और कई इलेक्शंस उन्होंने जीता था. 2019 में लोकसभा इलेक्शन में उनका अच्छा रिजल्ट आया था. तो CAA फैक्टर नहीं है. दैट्स व्हाट द बीजेपी इज सेइंग. आप लोग को कहना है कि आप एंटी CAA फोर्सेस को मिलकर के एक महाजोत आपने बनाया है.
देखिए, बीजेपी का जो कहना है कि CAA फैक्टर नहीं है, ये अपने आप में एक उनका मान लेना है कि CAA गलत है. अगर CAA इतना अच्छा है तो CAA फैक्टर होना चाहिए. जैसे वो बोल रहा है कि pro-incumbency, तो CAA इनके पॉजिटिव में फैक्टर होना चाहिए. लेकिन अभी हम फिलहाल में देखा, प्रधानमंत्री हो, गृह मंत्री हो, नड्डा जी हो, ये लोग इतने कुछ बोलते हैं लेकिन CAA के बारे में नहीं बोलते. लेकिन CAA अगर इतना अच्छा, CAA के बारे में वोट मांगना चाहिए था. लेकिन आसाम में पहली बार कि आपने बोला कि अभी ये इन्फ्लक्स इशू क्यों नहीं है. इशू है, आसाम अकॉर्ड है, ये है, लेकिन स्पेशली ये चुनाव इसीलिए सिग्निफिकेंट है. आसाम अकॉर्ड को ख़त्म करने के बाद ये पहला चुनाव है. अभी कौम इस जद्दोजहद में है कि और बाहर के लोग मत लाओ. इसीलिए कौम ये भूल गया कि जो है इसको बाहर निकलना है. ये तो एक इशू है ही पेंडिंग. अभी उनके सामने और एक मुद्दा आ गया, और एक इशू आ गया कि और बांग्लादेशी और विदेशी मत लाओ. इस जद्दोजहद में कहीं ना कहीं CAA इतना ऊपर आ गया. इसीलिए इन्फ्लक्स जो आपका जो घुसपैठियों का इशू था, ये थोड़ा सा डाइल्यूशन ऐसा लग रहा है कि हो रहा है, लेकिन डाइल्यूशन नहीं हुआ है, क्योंकि असम जो समझौता है इसको लेके असम के लोगों के जो इमोशन है, ये आपका ये इसका साथ अटैच है.
You have made your point. I'm coming to the other panelists, but I'll quickly ask Janki Goswami to respond. Janki Goswami, what AIUDF spokesperson Champak Kalita is basically saying that if CAA was so good, why is the BJP not seeking votes, saying that okay, give us votes because we have implemented the Citizenship Amendment Act?
See, the citizenship, whatever the implications of the Citizenship Amendment Bill or Citizenship Amendment Act are, it is a totally, as of now, a hypothetical situation because the rules have still not been framed. But we are very sure that there was a strong mispropaganda against the CAA saying that lakhs and lakhs of people will come, truckloads of people will come. Has that happened? Has any one of us seen anything like that happening? We are still very firm on our stand on CAA.
Your critics will say that
we are
these
still
people are
very
already
firm.
here.
Exactly.
Your critics,
Exact 80 lakhs people.
No, your critics will say.
See, we
how
have
do you
already.
respond to that?
So we have already mentioned that the people who are here till 2004. See, these rules were there earlier. It was said that we will give citizenship to people who are here, provided they apply for citizenship after 11 years. Now we have amended the law and we have said that instead of 11 years, it is now going to be 6 years. And yes, citizenship will be given to people who are already here, but after a lot of thorough scrutiny.
Okay. So there is no reason to fear. That is what you want to say.
Another thing I would want to add here is that Citizenship Amendment Act has been made an instrument, a tool for mispropaganda by our opposition. Because I don't want to go into the detail, but even if I touch the tip of the iceberg, if I talk about Congress and AIUDF, what they have done, even if I touch the tip of the iceberg, an ally of the Congress is Mr. Ajit Bhuiya's party. So what has Mr. Ajit Bhuiya done? He has garnered support in the name of CAA, played with the emotions of the people, and then he has secured a seat in the Rajya Sabha. All in the behest of CAA. All in the behest of CAA. Political parties were formed in the behest of CAA.
Let me go to Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta.
But we were always very transparent on CAA. We were always very, very transparent on the issue of
But it is also a fact that Ajit Bhuiya has championed the cause of CAA, and that is one of the reasons why he has gone to the
इमोशन को एक्सप्लॉइट करना ये गलत बात है। ये तो हम लोग का
Okay, we are not discussing. We are not discussing Ajit Bhuiya. We are not. Okay.
इसीलिए तो आप कहा के नाम पे वोट नहीं मांग रहे हो।
Let me go to Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta, because we are not discussing Ajit Bhuiya here. Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta, my first question is, do you get a sense, only 15 days are left for the first phase of elections? There is brisk electioneering already going on in the state, but we have not heard political parties discussing the issue of influx. I am asking you this question because from 85 onwards, in every election, influx was a major issue. Akhil Ranjan Dutta.
See, if you look at the elections from 2014 onward, the discourse has been driven by BJP. And BJP has raised issues one after the other, but they have betrayed the very issue and the very promise they made in the successive elections. Look at 2014, they talked about according status to 6 communities. They didn't do it, they couldn't do it, they are not doing it, they have betrayed. Then 2016, they talked about the Rainbow Alliance, they talked about immigration, they talked about, detecting, deleting each and every foreigner. They couldn't do it. 2019, they talked about ensuring citizenship through CAA to the Bengali Hindus very particularly, but they have not been successful in doing it. Now in 2021, they have driven another agenda, that is development. They have been talking about development. They have been announcing scheme one after the other. Now, opposition parties are in all these elections. They have been very particularly. They have been reacting. They have not been successful in creating their own discourses, and that has been one of the very important weaknesses or limitations on the part of the opposition parties in Assam.
But
therefore, I think that this, but then immigration issue has been turned into a very ugly manner by talking about clash of civilizations. The way the East Bengal origin Muslims have been targeted by senior party leaders and senior ministers, even though they have not been talking about immigration. Remember, they have been talking about the illegal migration and calling it a threat. They are not exactly illegal migrants. We are not very sure about it, but they have been doing it in a very, very ugly manner.
Okay, let's bring in. I'll give Janki Goswami to respond, but let me bring in Dr. Rajib Handique. Dr. Rajib Handique, why is the Congress? See, the Congress party has stitched up an alliance. They call it the Mahajot, with the single objective of defeating the BJP. But we also don't find the Congress is not also raising this issue of infiltration. Is it because the issue of infiltration now, because as Janki has been saying, there has been no influx of no fresh infiltration. Therefore, this issue does not cut ice among voters. Is that the reason why the Congress is also not raising this issue of infiltration?
I think this influx or infiltration, it has been an issue all throughout, and it's an underlying, I should say, an issue in the sense that demonization of Badruddin Azmal, or when somebody talks of the Mughals, or if the issue of Assam Accord comes in, or the sixth, I should say clause 6 of the Assam Accord comes in, I think all these are part of the larger problem of infiltration and influx. So, as a matter of fact, it has not gone away. In fact, we have two parties who have actually foisted themselves on the anti-CAA agitation, and they are fighting these elections. So, I think it is very much there in the, if not in the direct in the agenda, but influx is very much an issue. And talking about the issue of infiltration not taking place right now, influx not taking place right now, it may also be because of the fact that in many parameters Bangladesh is doing much better than India. So, that is something we should all take note of. I am putting a larger picture because it is necessary to understand.
No, Dr. Krishna Gopal Bhattacharjee, do you see the BJP is absolutely confident. They are saying that we will face these elections on a pro-incumbency. In fact, day before yesterday on this program, Janki Goswami herself has articulated this point. She said that we will go to the elections on a pro-incumbency report card. Now, my question to you, a pro-incumbency report card is fine, but what about the key issues? And don't you think that influx is a key issue, or do you think the other parties have also not been able to articulate their views on this issue because people are detached, people don't seem to be excited with the issue of influx anymore? Is that the sense you get?
It is not true actually, and I think BJP's pro-incumbency campaign is also, they are just trying to mislead the people. As Professor Akhil Dutta has said, that their report card is not that all good, and people understand it. And their promise of just bheti, mati, jati, in all these things, they have simply betrayed the people of Assam. And that is why we have said that, no, BJP is just for destroying Assam's culture, Assam's the age-old harmony among the people, and Assam in every way. So people understand this, and influx is very much an issue. It is an underlying issue,
okay.
And which influx is related the constitutional rights, which it is related implementation of Assam Accord. Also related is.
So you are saying that everything is linked. I will come once again to Janki Goswami and Champak Kalita, but we are now joined by Congress, Assam Congress spokesperson Mr. Raman Jha जी. हम लोग ये डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि असम चुनाव में इस बार इन्फिल्ट्रेशन फ्रॉम बांग्लादेश क्यों इशू नहीं है. आपका पार्टी, आपका जो दल है कांग्रेस ने महायुद्ध बनाया है एंटी का फोर्सेस को लेकर के, लेकिन आपने अभी तक सीरियसली इलीगल इन्फिल्ट्रेशन का मामला जो है वो उठाया नहीं है चुनावी कैंपेन में.
देखिए, कांग्रेस पार्टी ने पहले ही असम अकॉर्ड के तहत यह कह चुकी है और उनका कमिटमेंट है 24 मार्च 1971 के बाद जो भी लोग आए हैं असम में उन्हें असम से बाहर जाना है, और हम इसलिए एनआरसी को भी मान रहे हैं. अब ये राज्य सरकार है जो, देखिए, राज्य में बीजेपी की सरकार, केंद्र में भी बीजेपी की सरकार थी है, और सुप्रीम कोर्ट की निगरानी में एनआरसी हुआ. उस एनआरसी को अब राज्य सरकार मानने से मना कर रही है. वह कर रही है कि एनआरसी गलत हुआ. तो ये क्या चाहते हैं? हम तो चाहते हैं कि जो भी विदेशी है उसे चुनकर सरकार बाहर करे. अब चुनने का तरीका एक एनआरसी था जिसे ये मानने से इनकार कर रहे हैं. आपने देखा होगा कि ये ऑन रिकॉर्ड है कि 2004 से लेकर 2014 तक, जब 2014 तक जब कांग्रेस की सरकार थी केंद्र में, तकरीबन 80,000 विदेशी को उनको खोज के भारत सरकार ने डिपोर्ट किया था विदेश में. लेकिन आज 6 साल से या 7 साल से बीजेपी की सरकार है केंद्र में, उन्होंने कितने विदेशियों को रिपोर्ट किया है? तो उनका कहना कुछ कथनी और
नहीं, लेकिन आपका सरकार था 15 साल. रमन झा जी, ये वी शुड नॉट फॉरगेट द फैक्ट दैट योर पार्टी वाज रूलिंग असम फॉर 15 इयर्स विदाउट अ ब्रेक.
2000
आपने क्या किया?
मैं तो वही तो बोल रहा हूँ कि 2004 से 2014 के बीच में 80,000 विदेशी को रिपोर्ट किया गया था.
मैं तो ये सवाल सी, आई वांट टू एक्चुअली आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन to even the AGP. AGP came to power on the plank of removing foreign nationals from Assam. They were in power for 10 years. Unfortunately, AGP का कोई मुखपात्र यहाँ नहीं है. So I will not press this question. But all the political parties really have not succeeded in tackling this issue. Deportation is the key part of the issue. How many people have we deported? But this is not part of the election discourse. That is what I am asking.
सबसे पहले तो ये पूछिए कि जो विदेशी को शिनाख्त करने के लिए जो एनआरसी बना था, उस एनआरसी को बीजेपी की जो सरकार है वो डिनाई कर रही है कि हम इस एनआरसी को नहीं मानते हैं. सुप्रीम कोर्ट की निगरानी में हुई थी. उसे ये मानते हैं कि नहीं मानते हैं? एनआरसी के प्रक्रिया को आप 1600 करोड़ रुपए खर्चा हुआ, 3 साल तक पूरे माने सरकारी मिशनरियां लगी रही और उसे अब ये कचरे के डब्बे में डाल रहे हैं.
हमने कदम तो उठाया.
कदम क्या उठाया? वो तो कांग्रेस ने
अनफॉर्चुनेट है कि जैसा हमने चाहा था वैसा नहीं हुआ.
आपने कदम नहीं चाहा.
नहीं चाहा जैसा
जो सही बात है वो निकलता ही रहा है, जुबान पे आई
नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं है. आप पूरी बात को सुनिए. जैसा हमारा एम था वो नहीं हुआ.
इसीलिए
डिपोर्टेशन के बारे में वो बोल रहे हैं.
आप लोग करा कि ऐसा होना चाहिए था.
He is talking about deportation. He is talking about deportation.
Okay, Dr.
Detection होना चाहिए.
Dutta.
Detection होना चाहिए.
NRC.
No, the NRC has not given. अच्छा, when we talk of NRC, let us talk about the people who were left out.
Akhil wants to say something. Akhil, yes.
When we talk about
See, as far as the immigration is concerned or deportation is concerned, we know it very well that the BJP government led by Narendra Modi has been having a very, very good bilateral relationship with the government of Bangladesh. Successive bilateral meetings have been happening between the Union Government of India and that of Republic of Bangladesh. But in no meeting, in nowhere, they have raised the issue of deportation. Therefore, even if they talk about deportation of foreigners or illegal migrants during the election period or in political rallies, they are not really very, very concerned about deportation, knowing it well that deportation is not a possibility.
Okay,
now, as Professor Rajib Handique,
Doctor,
I think this is a very valid point. In spite of having a very good relationship with Begum Hasina, the government of India has not raised the question.
No, but that is a claim made by Bangladesh government. That is a claim made by Bangladesh government. That is a claim made by the Bangladesh government. They have been saying that we have not raised this issue. But this has been clarified by the Indian authorities. This has been raised by several Bangladeshi authorities that India has not made a claim. But India has made it very clear that they have raised this at the level, various levels, starting from the level of border guards to the level of political level as well. But we'll not. That is not the.
It should be raised at the highest level, no?
We will
Prime
not.
Minister.
नहीं, बात वो नहीं है. मुद्दा ये है, अगर ये डिपोर्टेशन करे तो उनका वोट बैंक डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा. जो हम तो पावर में नहीं है, क्योंकि जो अभी हो गया कि हिंदू बांग्लादेशी ज्यादा है, मुस्लिम बांग्लादेशी है ही नहीं, नेग्लिजिबल है. इसलिए अगर आप बांग्लादेशियों को डिपोर्ट करें तो आप लड़ेंगे कहाँ, कहेंगे क्या? बोले
that is
the point.
That is what the. Is that your agenda? Are you trying to polarize the
No. आप देखिए कहा किसने लाया, कहा क्यों लाया गया. अभी जब एनआरसी प्रोग्रेस में था तो उसके बीच में कहा इसीलिए लाया कि देयर इज रिपोर्ट कि असम में बांग्लादेशी हिंदू ज्यादा है, इसीलिए इसको कहा को बीच में लेके आओ, इसीलिए लेके आया. अगर इसको डिपोर्ट करेगा तो इनका जो हिंदू जो चीज है, हिंदू वाली जो बात है वो डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगी. और इसे असम का संस्कृति, असम का भाषा बाहर में जाओ.
Let me ask a different question to Janki Goswami. I'm coming to you, Professor Rajib Handique. Janki Goswami, I mean, you are saying that the development report card is enough for the BJP to perform extremely well in these elections. Now, my question is two things. What gives you this confidence? Are you talking about the medical colleges? Are you talking about the bridges? But your critics will say that, okay, that it's a good thing. There are 11 medical colleges have been set up, which is a good thing. Assam has never seen that before. That is a fact. Connectivity, yes, the government has done a lot of things as far as connectivity is concerned. A lot of bridges are coming up. The roads have also improved considerably. But my question, your critics will say that several other points like unemployment and others are still left to be addressed. How do you respond to that? Because you are saying that pro-incumbency, there is a strong pro-incumbency wave in your favor and you are going to cash in and get the people's support once again easily because of that.
See, we have been able to establish the 3 major parties in the Assam Assembly. One is the Assam People's Party, people's faith in us. What we have not, when you talk about development, you have already listed down a few things when we talk about development, but it is not only that. When I talked about Jati, Mati, Bheti, Huraikha, because this time we are going to fight the elections on the theme of security, Suraksha, Samriddhi and Sanskriti. So what we are trying to do is, as I told you earlier also, we are trying to safeguard the interests of the people of Assam. We are trying to protect our language, our culture, our age-old civilization, because we do not want our civilization is at the way we were progressing, the way we were progressing, What was happening was even worse than Kashmir. What was earlier was worse than Kashmir.
Why you go to Kashmir?
What Tripura model?
What is that civilization?
No, what is the Tripura model? क्या Tripura model? क्या Tripura model?
Another thing that I want to point out.
Tripura में, let me tell you, Tripura was a tribal majority. Let me make this point. Tripura was a tribal majority state. Tripura was ruled by the Congress, and the CPM ruled Tripura for 25 years, and it has been reduced to a tribal. कहाँ है अभी Tripura में? It has been reduced to a non-tribal majority state. Now, BJP has come to Tripura. I am not defending the BJP.
No,
I am not defending the BJP.
We have taken very hard steps against corruption also.
Please talk on facts.
We have taken certain hard steps on corruption also.
कल्चर, लैंग्वेज, ये कौन सरकार है कौन नहीं इससे मतलब नहीं, लेकिन अभी जो CAA लाया है ये आसाम एकॉर्ड को खारिज करता है। जो आसाम एकॉर्ड खारिज होने के बाद आसाम का भाषा जो होगा, जो कल्चर होगा, ये त्रिपुरा जैसे हो जाएगा। त्रिपुरा में कांग्रेस है, बीजेपी है, CPM है, ऐसा हुआ। इसी से कब आर्गुमेंट के लिए
असम में क्या हुआ?
क्यों नहीं हुआ?
असम में क्या हुआ? 1971 किसको
let me go to
किसको पूछ के किया? असम में
people were martyred.
This can be a monologue. No. Champak,
Congress and the forces like
you can't hijack the debate. You can't. Please don't hijack the debate. Akhil Ranjan Dutta wants to say something. Professor Krishna Gopal wants to say something. Akhil Ranjan Dutta.
Yeah, two quick points.
Let's increase the volume of Akhil Ranjan Dutta. Volume increase. Yes. Tell me.
Yeah, can I speak?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. No, Janki Goswami has talked about civilization. Now, what is that civilization are you talking about? Are you trying to convert the Namgars into temples? Are you trying to make a very simple, pro-people, common people premises being given by Shankardevo to some luxurious platforms and institutions which cannot be accessed by the common people?
Is that a twist you are trying to give?
Yeah.
Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta, is it a new twist? No. Let me respond. Is it a new twist that you are trying to introduce?
No, what I am suggesting is that Namghar is a common institution. It has nothing to do with the state patronage. By giving state patronage, they have been
talking about
attempt to Hinduize or to give Hindutva color to the Namghar. I think this is not civilization.
Is BJP talking about that?
I'm coming to you, Professor. This needs to be kept in mind. If you read Jyoti Prasad Agarwala, Ohomia Sthapoityor Navarut, he has written extensively about Bordua and about the Monikut. He said that Monikut is an architecture which is very secular in nature. Now, by talking about converting it into a premises like Sarna Mandir and so on and so forth, you are indeed attacking the very core of Shankardeva's civilization.
Janki respond.
We know the history of Bhattacharjee. We know the history of Bordua land, what had happened. Around 340 bighas of land was encroached. And after that, we have tried to make it encroachment free, number one, and after that we have tried to revive the birthplace of Gurujana by trying to establish and regenerate the shrine there. by trying to construct a shrine which is a mirror image of the golden temple. So is that wrong? What wrong have we done there? Another thing, when you said that by giving financial assistance to Namghars, are we trying to protect our civilization? Yes, we are trying to protect our culture. Yes, we are trying to protect our civilization from those people, from those aggressors who are in our land, who stay in our Khami, but they have never adopted our culture as their own culture. So it is our land of civilization. It is our land of civilization.
बीजेपी ये कह रही है कि नामघर को 2.5 लाख रुपया दे के नामघर को प्रोटेक्ट कर रही है।
It is not wrong to try and protect our culture and preserve our civilization.
तो बीजेपी नामघर को बेइज्जत कर रही है, ये हम लोग नहीं मानने वाला। 2.5 लाख रुपया का मोहताज नहीं है असम का नामघर। शंकरदेव का समय से अब तक नामघर चल रहा है। 2.5 लाख दीजिए, 5 लाख दीजिए, लेकिन आप नामघर को बेइज्जत मत कीजिए। असम या जाति 2.5 लाख रुपए का मोहताज नहीं है।
Champak, you and Congress are no different now. You are just mirror images of each other, and you try to give knowledge to the people who are trying to address into our culture.
Let us not trivialize. No. Let Krishna Gopal Bhattacharjee.
What I think.
सरल बात है, एक असमीज लेडी कह रही है कि नामघर कल्चर
No, you cannot.
कीमत only 2.5 लाख
Okay, you have made your point. Don't keep repeating. Yes, Krishna Gopal Bhattacharjee, you make your. How do you see this whole issue? Because we are asking this question because Janki Goswami has said that, and other top leaders of the BJP has said it's a civilizational crisis that Assam is facing, and the culture has to be protected. This is the time. Do you agree? Do you agree?
No, I do not agree. I think the BJP's claims are totally wrong. They are not trying to protect the Assamese culture, Assamese religion, or whatever we have in Assam to be described as Assamese. They are trying to import North Indian culture. They are even say importing these purohits and all that from other places, Tamil Nadu and other places, to this place. And they are trying to just destroy our culture, destroy our.
Can you generalize? Is it so simple? Isn't it a simple allegation that you are leveling?
No, it is not simple. Everybody is feeling like that, no? They are not following the. We have a Mahapurushya parampara, no? They are just destroying it. And it is evident.
We are deviating from the topic. We are deviating from the topic.
We are trying to safeguard all the religions which are indigenous religions.
We also respect all the religions.
Dr.
But
Rajib
Assam has its own culture.
Dr. Rajib Handique.
रिलीजन में भी इंडिजिनियस बोल दिया।
Dr.
इंडिजिनियस रिलीजन पहली बार सुन रहा हूँ।
Dr.
Now the other point is,
which religion is not indigenous?
let me say the other point is that BJP's slogan during the last election was Bheti Mati,
Jati Mati
Bheti.
It is still our slogan.
They have completely
and it is still our
betrayed
motto.
this, and they are now trying to form some new slogans this time. They have forgotten that because
We have not forgotten.
Rajib Handique, I am
forgotten.
asking. We are deviating from the topic.
Forgotten. We are going to further our
I have
interests.
to go for a break, but Rajib Handique, tell me, now the only premise where the Congress, there were several elections in the past where the Congress could not come into an understanding with the AIUDF. That had cost the party at the 2016 elections also. Now, the Congress was able to, it was easier for the Congress this time to have an alliance with the AIUDF as well as the other parties because of the Citizenship Amendment Act, because that is what they are saying. It's not, I'm not saying this. They are saying that we have united the anti-CAA forces, and they were hoping, they had also given an open invitation, it still stands, to Professor Krishna Gopal Bhattacharjee's party. Okay, please come and join the Grand Alliance. Invitation is still open. That is what the Congress says. Now, my question to you, Dr. Rajiv Handique, is that can anti-CAA parties strike a chord with the masses over the issue? What do you think? Because lakhs of people came out on the streets during the CAB agitation, but when the Panchayat elections were held, they voted for the same people. Obviously, they were not people who had come from outside. So many of these people voted for the BJP. That is why the BJP swept the Panchayat elections and later the 2019. My question is, can anti-CAA parties strike a chord this time in elections 2021? Simple question.
No, actually this, the election game is a totally different, it's a totally different game, and anti-CAA forces, whether they will be able to raise the same level of sentiment, it's quite doubtful, because at the ground level, it's the organization, it's the resources which is in fact pumped in, and the way the elections are marketed and the issues are marketed, I think that is the way, because we already know that there are 5 songs which were launched yesterday, there were a few CDs which have been launched. So this is the thing that goes on. But please give me the opportunity to also tell the BJP spokesperson here that the type of indigenous culture that BJP is trying to promote in the form of Namami Brahmaputra or Namami Barak is not it's not indigenous at all. It is actually something which is being imported, and people are really feeling the brunt of it. People are really feeling alienated in a way, and I hope that doesn't go on for a very long time.
Okay, we'll get a response to that. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'll have to go for a quick break. I'm coming back very, very shortly. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Let me go straight to Raman Jha, who is joining me live from Sibsagar. Raman Jha जी, ये बताइए, आपका जो 2016 में आपका सरकार जो गिरा, that was largely because of anti-incumbency. अभी बीजेपी ने कह रहा है कि 5 साल के बाद उनको pro-incumbency वेव चल रहा है.
नहीं, आप ऐसा नहीं कह सकते हैं कि देखिए, इनका पिछले साल का जो स्लोगन था, पिछले चुनाव का, जाति माटी भेटी.
नहीं, ये प्रश्न पे आइए. आंसर माय क्वेश्चन.
मैं आंसर दे रहा हूँ, लेकिन मैं उनको एक बार जानवी जी को एक जवाब देता हूँ, जानकी जी को. वो तो चला गया. अब इन्होंने कहा कि सुरक्षा, समृद्धि और संस्कृति, ये स्लोगन लेके आ रहे हैं. इनका स्लोगन का मतलब है एनआरसी को न मानकर यह विदेशियों को सुरक्षा दे रहे हैं, पब्लिक सेक्टर को बेचकर ये पूंजीपतियों को समृद्ध कर रहे हैं, और का के जरिए विदेशी संस्कृति को लागू करना चाहते हैं. तो ये इनका स्लोगन है, जो इनकी करनी है, उसका आभास उन्होंने पहले स्लोगन दे दी.
और जानकी गोस्वामी respond. See, saying that
रमन झा जी, आपने तो प्रयास ही नहीं किया. हमने तो एटलीस्ट प्रयास किया कि डिटेक्ट और डिपोर्ट किया जाए, क्योंकि डिपोर्टेशन के लिए पहला स्टेप होता है डिटेक्शन. उसके लिए हमने एनआरसी को बनाने का एक प्रयास किया था, लेकिन ये अनफॉर्चुनेट है कि जो डायरेक्शन, वो एक मिस डायरेक्शनल एनआरसी हो गया, इसलिए हम रीवेरिफिकेशन का अभी क्लेम कर रहे हैं.
But you have made the tribunals idle. All the tribunals are not working.
Sir, let me complete the issue. अभी बात यह है कि एनआरसी में कुछ ऐसे लोगों का भी नाम फीचर हो रहा है. हमें बोला जा रहा है कि हमारे वोट बैंक तोड़े जाएंगे एनआरसी को अगर हम इंप्लीमेंट करते हैं. ऐसी बात नहीं है. एनआरसी में कुछ ऐसे नाम भी फीचर हो रहे हैं जो हमारे दे आर द सन्स ऑफ द सॉइल, जो हमारे ट्राइबल लोग हैं, जो हमारे राभा मिसिंग, गारो, राभा मिसिंग, डिमा हसाओं के लोग हैं, हाजोंग लोग हैं. ऐसे लोगों का भी नाम फीचर हो रहा है. तो इसमें पूरा पता चलता है कि एनआरसी वाज नॉट डन इन अ प्रॉपर मैनर. तो उसमें कुछ का मैनिपुलेशंस हुआ था, इसलिए हमारे सन्स ऑफ द सॉइल का नाम उसमें फीचर नहीं हुआ है. अभी बात ये है कि डिपोर्टेशन कब होगा, जब हम एनआरसी इंप्लीमेंट करेंगे. अभी एनआरसी को हमने एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया है, रीवेरिफिकेशन का डिमांड चल रहा है. जब वो सेटल होगा,
your government tried to take all the credit for the NRC, but then for 2 years it is silent. It is not doing anything.
Why is asking Professor Krishna Bhattacharjee is asking, why is your government silent for 2 years? Answer this question, Janki. I'm coming to you, Akhil Ranjan Dutta.
You have been silent all along. And it is your government. Your government is in New Delhi, but you are not doing anything.
हमने एप्लीकेशन डाला है रीवेरिफिकेशन के लिए.
So BJP is saying that they have asked for re-verification.
हम लोग it will continue the exercise.
Akhil Ranjan Dutta, you wanted to make a point. Akhil Ranjan Dutta,
ऐसा नहीं है कि एनआरसी हमको फेंक दिया. ऐसा नहीं है कि NRC हमने स्टॉप कर दिया, NRC हमने स्टॉप नहीं किया, इसमें एक पॉज लगा है, इसमें एक पॉज लगा है, इसमें एक पॉज लगा है. That is very unfortunate actually. हमने चाहा नहीं था कि ऐसा हो.
Okay, Ranjan Dutta, you wanted to make a point. Yes.
Janki, if you look at the court proceedings, Supreme Court proceedings on NRC, and I can tell you that I have read each and every order related to NRC. If you look at that, the Supreme Court, the particular bench, had to be very tough on the kind of approach both the central government and state government was adopting towards the NRC. The NRC couldn't be taken into its logical conclusion. There are many factors, but one of the important factors behind is that your government was trying to get the CAA enacted. Because CAA is based on 2014 and NRC is based on 1971, and that is the fundamental cause for which you couldn't.
Okay, let's not go into back into that debate. Let me come into asking you this question.
There is no relation between NRC and CAA.
Very quickly, I'm coming to Professor Rajib.
NRC is a totally different subject matter.
BJP contradict themselves because जो एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्ट्री है उसने बकायदा अपना स्पोक्स पर्सन बिठा के बोला है कि एनआरसी सही है और साइंटिफिक तरीके से हुआ है, ये गवर्नमेंट का.
Okay, that is a point. That was one statement which came out from the MEA.
Don't
make it a sexist thing.
सरकार ने बोला, गवर्नमेंट बोला तब भी
it was
कैसे हो?
Okay, बोला था. I agree with you.
कन्वीनियंट है इनके लिए.
ये कन्वीनियंस की बात नहीं है. ये कन्वीनियंस की बात नहीं है.
मिनिस्टर कौन है? कौन बैठा है?
I don't want to go into all of that. It is not a debate. It is not a debate. It is not a debate. It is not a debate on the Champak ji, you can't try to convert this debate into a monologue. Let me. I'm sorry about.
2D point बात बोलने से
आप 2D point बोलते हैं. आप 2D point बोलते हैं.
सरकार है वो बीजेपी की है और
वो मालूम है.
बीजेपी की है वो तो
मालूम है. That is not a
किसी और के पास नहीं है ना.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सुपरविजन में हुआ था.
Let's ask Dr. Rajib Handique. Dr. Rajib Handique, at the end of the day, can you dismiss the BJP's claim in rally after rally after rally that they have done so much for the people of Assam? Now, what are the examples they are giving? They are giving the examples of the bridges, connectivity. They are giving the examples of the medical colleges. They are giving the examples of cooking gas cylinders. They are giving the examples of opening bank accounts for tea garden workers. And the list is long. They are saying that they have given, they have taken special care of women. They have given bikes. They have given cycles and bikes and scooties to women students and so on and so forth. So these are the claims of the BJP. They are saying that they are going to the election campaign saying that we have done so much. So it is automatically people are with us. So can you dismiss this totally?
No, it cannot be dismissed totally. And in fact, actually the government has crafted it very cleverly by making most of the appointments, by giving most of these schemes towards the end of their tenure when the elections were around the corner. For example, this scooty giving scheme and many other schemes, in fact, many of the even the college teachers' jobs, they were the vacancies which are there for a very, very long time, they all got filled up just before the elections. So in a way, it is true that they have done it in a way that it gives out the feeling that lot has been done, and it is, I think, in the basis of the beneficiary that the pro-incumbency is being fought.
What is the burden they have given to the people of Assam?
Yeah, that has to be debated.
That is the most important thing. And the other point is that with respect to GDP and all that, Assam is
in many other parameters,
bottom.
In many other parameters, Assam, it is not doing good.
At the time of independence, Assam is at the top. Now Assam is third rank from bottom. Maybe Bihar is behind us.
No, but as I have said, sir, actually election is all about how the perception. The perception which is being sought to be created is that there
No,
is
these
a
are wrong perceptions.
Yeah, that is
which
true.
will be telling the
Yeah,
people. These are wrong perceptions given by the BJP government.
let
It has
me-
not
let
done
It is the
anything.
other political party
let me
which
It
will
is
have
borrowed
to
money.
fight
It is
this.
borrowed money they are distributing.
Let me ask a direct question to Raman Jha. Champak Kalita, please don't intervene because I'll give you time to respond. रमन झा जी ये बताइए, आपका अभी जो अलायंस पार्टनर है AIUDF, AIUDF आपने तो कम से कम 5 गारंटी का अनाउंस किया है. वेदर इसका इंपैक्ट होता है कि नहीं हम लोग पता नहीं है, अभी देखेंगे इलेक्शन में, इलेक्शन रिजल्ट्स बताएंगे. कांग्रेस ने तो कम से कम 5 गारंटी तो लोगों को दिया है. AIUDF ने क्या दिया है? कोई गारंटी अभी तक नहीं दिया, कोई प्रॉमिस नहीं है. लेकिन AIUDF का स्पोक्समैन, AIUDF का वरिष्ठ नेता, मेन लीडर बदरुद्दीन अजमल साहब ने बोला है कि अगर बीजेपी आएगा तो 3,500 मस्जिद जो है वो तोड़े जाएंगे असम में. तो these things, does it trouble you? Because you said that you are an extremely secular party and so on.
देखिए, सबसे पहले कांग्रेस पार्टी ने जो 5 गारंटी दी है वह महागुट की तरफ से दी, और ये जो महागठबंधन है,
अब बड़ा क्वेश्चन वो नहीं है रमन झा जी, डोंट ट्राई टू
मैं आपके क्वेश्चन का
डायरेक्ट आंसर दीजिए.
राइट आंसर दूंगा. आपने जो प्रश्न किया है ना, मैं उसकी जिससे शुरुआत की है मैं उसी से कर रहा हूँ. ये AIUDF ने गारंटी नहीं दी, उसमें
AIUDF ने गारंटी नहीं दी. AIUDF ने बल्कि AIUDF ने कहा है, these are the statements coming from AIUDF. That is the question. My question is simple. With these kind of controversial statements, do you think the Congress will be in a difficult situation?
जी नहीं, क्यों नहीं, मैं बता रहा हूँ. देखिए, कुछ दिन से अभी मैंने देखा है 2-3 दिन से कि बीजेपी का IT सेल या उनका सपोर्टिंग IT सेल जो है वो उस तरह के ह्यूमन फैला रहे हैं IT के जरिए.
Okay, we have a disturbance. Line is not very clear. Champak Kalita, very quick response.
ये
I have a breaking news.
है, उन्होंने उससे नहीं चीज. हाँ बोलिए.
हाँ, okay.
हाँ, तो ये जो चीज है ना, इससे कांग्रेस पार्टी जानती है कि भाजपा ही इस देश में जो लोगों को जो
Fair आपने, you are not answering my question. That is the problem. मेरा क्वेश्चन सिंपल है, मेरा क्वेश्चन सिंपल है. कांग्रेस क्या आज का तारीख में थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्टी में है क्योंकि AIUDF कंट्रोवर्शियल स्टेटमेंट्स दे रहा है?
नहीं, कंट्रोवर्शियल तो बीजेपी दे रही है.
Okay, so he will not reply, he will not give a direct answer to my question. But Champak Kalita ji, this is not recent. थोड़ा दिन पहले का बात है, एक वीडियो निकला था जहां आपका नेता मौलाना बदरुद्दीन अजमल साहब ने ये कह रहा था, ये कहते हुए सुनाई दे रहा था कि अगर बीजेपी आएगा तो मस्जिद से अजान नहीं होगा और 3,500, ये फिगर भी आया था, 3,500 मस्जिदें जो हैं वो तोड़े जाएंगे एंड दिस एंड दैट. सो इस तरफ का बयान से आपका क्या फायदा होगा या आपका मित्र जो है कांग्रेस का क्या नुकसान होगा?
देखिए, ये चुनावी नफा और लॉस की बात नहीं है. जो बाबरी मस्जिद से लेके अखलाक, जुनैद, ये सब पहलू खान, ये जो सिलसिला चला है और कोई ऐसा हिडन एजेंडा है, फहरिस्त है, ये देश के बारे में बोल रहा है. लेकिन सबसे बड़ी बात है कि एक मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट अगर ऐसा शंका करना पड़ा तो उसके लिए तो स्टेट फेलर है. क्योंकि आपने देखा कि अभी जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में अखिल गोगोई हो का जो केस पेंडिंग है, लेकिन अर्नब गोस्वामी कैसे छुट्टी का दिन में डेट लगा.
Let's not discuss some other channel here. No, I'm not discussing another channel.
है इस सर्कमस्टेंस से हम लोग का जो शंका पैदा हुआ कि ऐसा होने वाला है, ऐसा कोई RSS के पास ऐसा कोई.
I've got a breaking news. I've got a breaking news coming in. We have an update coming in at this point. BJP MLA from Hujai, Siladitya Dev, who had yesterday decided to quit the Saffron party, has now decided against the move. Siladitya Dev will not resign from the BJP. That's what reports coming in. Vocal Hujai MLA Siladitya Dev has decided to stay with the BJP and will work for the party in this election. That is some good news for the BJP. Janki Goswami?
Actually, some initial resentment is always there after the tickets are declared. So this was an example probably of that, because it is, some people pin hopes, and when they see that the result was not what they expected. There may be initial resentment, so maybe his reaction was very was at
Initial.
the very
Okay,
initial stage, very preliminary stage.
Okay, Dr.
So
Akhil
now
Ranjan
he has
Dutta,
decided
coming back
against
to
it.
the debate, yes.
Pro-incumbency.
Yes.
We welcome
yeah,
his decision.
No, Wasbir, I'll just
No,
talk
not
about
exactly,
the
because I have seen that
development.
it
अमेरिका
is-
ने मनाया.
No, nothing
Breaking
like
news.
No, let's not trivialize. Yes, Dr. Akhil Ranjan Dutta.
What Janki Goswami has been talking about the report card of this government.
Yes.
She has been talking about certain kinds of development achievements of this government. But if you look at the government report itself, 2019-20 economic survey of the state government of Assam, and if you compare it with the white paper being presented by the finance minister in 2016, you find a lot of contradictions. Nothing substantive has been achieved. Now we have talked about the GDP. And also, if you look at particularly per capita income, Assam's position has been very, very poor. More important is the sustainable development goals. If you look at the health sector, health and well-being, Assam's performance has been worst. Assam has secured only 30 out of 100. Therefore, when you talk about the medical colleges, for that matter, educational institutions, bridges, and many other things, it is not really contributing towards the overall development as defined by the government itself. Now, because the opposition is very weak, they do not read these documents, do not look into the critical parameters. Therefore, the government is in a position to talk about high achievements of development.
Okay.
In my considered opinion, nothing substantive has been achieved except for beneficiary schemes one after the other.
Okay, I'm running short of time. I'll start from Professor Krishna Gopal Bhattacharjee. What will click in this election? Is it the issues? Is it rhetoric? How do you see the days ahead? Because only 15 days are left for the first phase. Very quickly.
Normally, in an election, there will be always some rhetoric, and it will be more from the ruling party than the other parties. But we will fight this election on issues which are very, very relevant to Assam and its future.
Election will be fought on issues relevant to Assam in the future. Professor Rajib, Handique, how do you see the days ahead from now?
Yeah, there will be a lot of rhetoric, there will be a lot of perceptions which will be created through, and there will be a lot of dance, lot of music, because there are some who makes it a festivity. So these will be there, but we have to remember one thing, that elections will come and elections will go. But we must not polarize the situation to the extent that the very fabric of the society goes to an extent that it becomes irreparable.
But
so and moreover, I must say that there is at the upper level we see a lot of things going on, but I think there is also a strong undercurrent. But that
strong undercurrent will always be there. You talked about festivities, but there is no harm, because in a huge country like India, I think elections are the biggest festival that the country has all through the year. Of course, that is the issue. Akhil Ranjan Dutta, final comments.
I think that rhetoric should be confined only at the superficial level. It shouldn't go deep into the very fabric of the society. BJP, even if it has talked about so many things, but I don't think that it has been targeting, or it has been successful in breaking down the very fabrics of the society, because our society is very diverse, and it will be good for the society, good for the civilization.
I'm running
if
absolutely.
BJP also keeps it only at the superficial level.
Okay, rhetoric should not go deep. Raman Jhaji, final comments, 20 seconds.
देखिए, इस बार का चुनाव जो है वो उसका मुद्दा महंगाई, बेरोजगारी, प्राइवेटाइजेशन ऑफ पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी, उसके बाद आपका जो लोगों में भाईचारा में विभेद जो है, भाईचारा को सरकार उससे लड़ा जाएगा। यह देश शंकरदेव और आजान फकीर का देश है। यहाँ आपसी भाईचारा, विकास और बेरोजगारी के मुद्दे पर, महंगाई के मुद्दे पर हम चुनाव लड़ेंगे और हमारी सरकार आएगी।
Okay, let's wait and watch. Champak, Kalita, 20 seconds to you. Final comments.
देखिए, जो स्टेट लगभग 70,000 करोड़ रुपए का लोन में है, जिसमें हाईएस्ट बेरोजगारी दर है, जहां पे आपका प्राइस हाइक है, उसके बाद भी अगर बोलेगा प्रो इनकम्बेंसी, मुझे ये राहत इंदौरी का एक शायर है वो याद आता है कि दोजख का इंतजाम में रात दिन, फिर भी दावा ये करता है जन्नत में जाएगा। खुशफहमी का भीड़ में तू भूल क्यों गया, पहले मरेगा फिर जन्नत में जाएगा। और आखिर में अगर इतना प्रो इनकम्बेंसी है तो चीफ मिनिस्टर को डिक्लेयर क्यों नहीं किया गया?
Okay, that is the operative part of his chief minister को declare क्यों नहीं किया? Final comments to you, Janki Goswami, 20 seconds
I would
only.
just take one moment from you to answer to Akhilda's questions. Now, Akhilda has spoken about health. Now, so I want to make my comment
I don't have
here.
that kind of time. Very quickly.
Just 30 seconds.
Yeah.
The establishment of AIMS, is it not an achievement? The allotment of an amount of 223 lakh crore this time for health sector. Health has been prioritized in last budget. The untiring efforts that our government had put in under the leadership of Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma at the time of Corona, was that not a commendable effort by our government? So if you talk about health and hygiene, health still takes the top priority in our list of agenda. And now coming to the pro-incumbency factor, the pro-incumbency is there. Pro-incumbency wave is there because our party has worked all throughout untiringly and ushered in an era of corruption-free, transparent, terrorism-free, infiltration-free state.
Okay, we'll have to wait and watch as to how Assam's 2.29 crore voters behave or decide in the elections, in the three-phase election that begins on the 27th of March. I thank all my panelists for participating in these engaging discussions and the viewers for watching the show. Good night and goodbye.